Welcome, dear Thriver to Thriver TV, where you don't just learn how to merely survive narcissistic abuse, but how to truly heal and thrive. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, narcissists aren't that interesting. You may think they're fascinating, but they're actually not. They're all pretty much cut out of the same cookie cutter and they all pretty much say and do the same things. Today, I'm going to prove this to you by sharing with you what I believe are the 12 most common phrases that a narcissist uses. But before I get started, I just want to remind you about my exciting hands-on brand new program that is coming up at the start of May called Thrive. Thrive is where myself and the team meet with you every week for 10 weeks and we work deeply and intimately and lovingly through with you what it is that's been blocking your recovery so that it can be released to free you into your true life. So if this is something that you deeply wish to experience, then please check out the link with this video or go to melanietoniaevans.com/thrive or look at the link in the show notes. Okay, so let's get moving and investigate what it is that narcissists all tend to say. And I want to frame today's video around the 3 well-known cycles of narcissistic abuse, which is idolize, devalue, and discard. So let's have a look at our first section, which is idolizing when love bombing. Narcissists like to portray that you and their relationship are special, unique, one of a kind. And this is the type of grandiose fantasies that narcissists do. They love to pump up their own narcissistically supplied tires. If they can conjure up to themselves that you're the best thing since sliced bread, then it grants them masses of the chemical of idolization. It's a high. It's like a drug high for a narcissist. So they make out that you're the best for this, you're the best for that, you're the answer to this, you're the answer to that, and they rave about you to all their family and friends and they introduce you really quickly and, you know, all this stuff. They're putting you on a pedestal, but you need to know it's not mature, it's not realistic, and it's not even honest. It's about them getting a high of the drug of their narcissistic scripted fantasies. Yeah, she could be an incredible person and all these things, but this is not mature. And the narcissist can't care less about how their idolizing, gushing could affect another. And in fact, narcissists are very aware that if we're not yet healed up in our own bodies and we haven't got healthy boundaries yet and we're not orientated in the maturity of being a healthy adult in our own body, getting to know a person over time to see if their character matches the words, then they can easily sweep people up in this heady potion that the narcissist is brewing, such as the #1 idolizing phrase, "You are my soulmate." They'll tell you, they've dreamt about you, that you're the prophesized person that somebody told them was going to come into their life. And the sad thing is, as many of us realize in the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, is that a narcissist can say this to everyone and anyone that they target. Words are cheap. The #2 phrase that they can use in the idolizing part of the relationship is, "You tick all of my boxes, you are perfect for me." And perhaps the narcissist at the time in their fantasy truly believes this, because they're in a world of grandiose made-up versions of life. And absolutely, he or she is professing to be in love with you and they've decided that you're this and you're that and you're the other. But with all emotionally constructed versions of life that aren't going to stand the time of real relationships, once you get past a honeymoon stage, the pedestal that you've been erected on is the one that the narcissist is going to firmly kick you off when you can't supply all of the fantastic and unrealistic feelings that the narcissist is at the moment getting drunk on. And then rather than being the perfect version of the perfect partner, you're going to become a villain. And we're going to investigate that later in this video. But first, we're going to talk about the #3 phrase that they'll use in the idolizing section of your relationship. And this is probably the one that's the most insidious. The narcissist will say, you are different from all the others. Narcissists like to say this, and it makes you think that you're the one who's going to this time be the one. It also means that you're going to go over and above to try to prove to yourself that you're the one with the narcissist who is different. Narcissists love to pit people against other people so that they compete with them, even if these are the past relationship people that you've never met. And the narcissist uses this to their advantage to be able to garner what they want to get from people. All right, so the bottom line with all of this love bombing stuff is this. A healthy adult gets to know a person's character and how they operate in life before gushing forth such statements. If somebody is saying these things to you or things like this, there's really only two reasons that they're going to be doing it. One, they're a raving codependent who is seeking to get self from outside of self, and they're not mature and solid within themselves. They're an unhealed child in an adult's body, which means that they're needy, an incredibly needy human being, or they're a narcissist living in a version of made-up pathological reality. And neither is neither is going to give you a happy or healthy relationship. Okay, so moving on to the next phrases, we're going to look at the inevitable devalue stage, which occurs when the honeymoon starts to wear off, the mask drops, and the narcissist starts blaming you for not supplying them with all of the heady, incredible feelings that their imagination and their high of narcissistic supply was initially granting them. And this is when you start becoming damned if you do and damned if you don't. And of course, within a relationship, there are going to be certain circumstances when you call on the narcissist to do something for you, or be accountable, or be honest, or make amends for their bad behavior. Supportive, trustworthy relationships have this as a basic foundation. You're not asking for this person to fly to the moon for you. This is all a normal expectation, all of which the narcissist simply cannot and will not fulfill. Hence why all narcissists say certain things at the devalue stage. So let's have a look at the number 4 common phrase that a narcissist will use. It's this. They will say to you, just because I didn't do or say this when you want me to do or say this. Of course you wanted them to do or say that. It's normal in a relationship. And it's maddening for you because you simply asked for something basic. And the narcissist flatly refuses to do it, lies about doing it, or does the exact opposite thing that you would like them to do. Then he or she will attack you because apparently you had an unreal expectation. Please know that you didn't. It's really usual for you to feel violated when somebody in your life refuses to play team and will not meet a normal request or validate you or even consider your feelings. This lets you know that the narcissist simply does not have the capacity to be in a mature and trustworthy relationship. Okay, number 5. They will say this. Look at the way you're behaving. This is a phrase that the narcissist uses when you're confronting them about their poor behavior. When you want a conversation about it or state that you're upset with them, the narcissist twists, turns, blame throws, refuses to stay on topic, makes ridiculous justifications and excuses, and inevitably, of course, you lose your cool. Then he or she will turn it back on you by saying, look at the way you're behaving. It's the perfect bait and switch, and we've all experienced it, haven't we? If you have, let me know in the comments below, because I'm sure you have. All right, number 6. They say, you didn't let me finish what I was going to say. This phrase occurs when you call out the narcissist regarding him or her not telling the truth, not coming forth with vital information, or not being apologetic for behavior that was unacceptable. The narcissist pretends that he or she was going to say it, and you cut them off too early before they could say it. How convenient. Number 7 phrase, I did say I was sorry. Oh gosh, as far as I'm concerned, when people say this, if they had said a humble, genuine sorry that you felt in your body is true, then you wouldn't still be asking for one. There are many ways a sorry is not a sorry. Sorry is not a sorry when it comes far too late, especially when you're just about to walk out the door and end the relationship after 2 weeks of arguing. A sorry is not a sorry when it's stated defensively. A sorry is not a sorry when it's followed with excuses and justifications. A sorry is not a sorry when somebody says, well, I'm not happy about the way I behaved either, and they're making it all about themselves rather than what they did to you. A sorry is not a sorry when you have to plead, beg, cry, and scream to receive an apology, as well as all the numerous ways that narcissists say sorry when it's actually not a sorry. All right, the bottom line with an apology is even if a person does say sorry and it is heartfelt, which certainly doesn't happen with narcissists, even if that happens, if the future actions and behaviours do not match the apology and the remorse and the remedy is not applied, then words are cheap. A person's character is defined by their actions. Please know that. Narcissists are rubbish at saying and behaving in ways that demonstrate a genuine sorry. Okay, number 8 phrase in the devalue stage is, oh, here we go again. When a narcissist says this, what he or she means really is that you are so much trouble and here you are complaining again. It's a way that the narcissist refuses to take responsibility and look at and remedy the reasons why you're so upset. It's usually accompanied with an eye roll or a groan or them walking out the door. Speaking of which, now we're going to have a look at the common phrases when a narcissist is ready to walk out the door, when they're ready to actually leave you and the relationship in the discard phrase. Okay, discard phase. All right. Number 9 phrase that is commonly used by narcissists, and this is in the discard stage of your relationship. They will say to you something like, I deserve to be loved better than the way you are loving me. That's the accusation that they say to you. Narcissists are perpetual victims. They're broken children within adult bodies. They firmly believe that no matter how badly they behave, that you're supposed to have an unwavering allegiance to being with them. If you are not granting them what their false self wants, then you aren't loving them according to them. And it's a bottomless pit. It doesn't matter what you grant and what you do, it's never going to be good enough. And of course, they're not going to take responsibility for their behaviour, which is about anything but true and healthy love. Number 10 most common phrase is, it was your past issues that caused our problems. The narcissist will blame you for what happened. They'll blame it on your childhood, your stuff, your unhealed issues, your previous relationships. They will smear you to others, telling other people that you were the problem. They will say you weren't to be trusted, you're a bad person, you did these things that the narcissist actually did. And this can be very painful and confusing for you, as well as totally soul annihilating when you know you didn't do those things. And you may even pledge to try to fix these issues and take responsibility to try to stay connected to the narcissist, especially if you're suffering the horror of abandonment programs and you go running back. Okay, so the number 8 phrase that a narcissist can use commonly is, I hate you and I'll make you pay for what you did to me, or words to those effects. Narcissists can be incredibly vengeful at the end of their relationships. Their words and their actions make you have no doubt that you went from being their soulmate to their enemy. You can be shocked at how terribly the narcissist will treat you, trying to punish you. And this is how they convince their false self that you're dirt, you're worthless, and that the relationship completely needed to end because of the person you are. And this is just as pathological as the initial idolized fantasy where you were their everything and they were pumping up you and themselves at the beginning of the relationship because according to that version, you were the best thing that ever existed. So with a narcissist, it's all or nothing. You've gone from hero to zero. You're either adored or you're abhorred. And neither is mature, healthy, or based in reality. This is the thing. You're being judged as an object. At the start, you were an object of narcissistic supply. At the beginning, you're an object that needs to be discarded. Real people and real relationships are going to judge you based on your soul and who you are as a human being. And the narcissist has no concept of either of those things. You're either granting them supply, where you're wonderful, the right supply, or you're a worthless object to be discarded. And the truth of the matter is, narcissists create stories about other people to suit their own narrative in order to feed or preserve their false self, period. The number 12 phrase. And this can happen with some narcissists, not all, but it does happen a lot. It's something like, after the discard, I'll never stop loving you, or never say never. And there's a reason for this. Narcissists are greedy for narcissistic supply. It's a drug to them. And they don't have care for others in regard to how and where and in which way they get the drug. So the narcissist may string you along, making you believe that one day there could be a chance of getting back together with him or her. And this is to ensure that you stay on the hook, that you don't move on with your life, which is a huge ego injury to a narcissist when you are over them and moved on and having a great life. They don't like that. And this is where the narcissist is going to keep you hooked for narcissistic supply so that they can circle back to you, reel you back in for an ego feed, and maybe even use you to triangulate against their new partner if their new partner isn't giving them enough narcissistic supply. It's a very cruel game. Don't fall for it. And this is why it is so important, if you're in one of these insane, not normal at all relationships, for you to turn inwards, face your triggered, unhealed parts within that get fully activated through narcissistic abuse, and heal yourself to wholeness. Then you can step out of the cycles with these people who have zero capacity for real and healthy relationship. So I hope that you can understand from today's little lesson about these 12 common phrases and the 3 phases that narcissistic people are horrific to be in relationship with. And this is regardless of whether they're your lover, your spouse, your family member, your friend, or any other person in your life. They don't take responsibility. They're a damaged person with a heap of defense mechanisms, pretending to be whoever they need to be to try to get other people to supply them with energy, resources, and an ego hit. And when you're no longer supplying the narcissistic supply that the narcissist demands, which is impossible to upkeep, then his or her insecure, unhealed traumas explode up to the surface and you get blamed for it. There is no way out of this. A narcissist is a narcissist, other than to detach, pull away, and deeply turn inwards to address your own triggered traumas and start to heal up to become a person who does know how to live in your truth and values and rights. You have healthy boundaries. You're no longer hooked into and being abused by narcissistic people and this madness. Then you will go free. And it does happen from the inside out. Okay, so if you are struggling with this insanity, if you can't detach from all of these games and these phrases and get your power and your life and your soul back, then I would really love you to have a look at Thrive. It's going to help you heal and get into your power and get free from all of this. There's only about a week before it starts. We do have some seats left, and this is the most hands-on supportive program that I've ever offered to help people heal. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. So check out Thrive, and together we can do this. Okay, so I know that the expressions I shared today are common, and of course there are many more that I didn't mention. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do these ones resonate with you? Did you receive them? Are you receiving them? And are there others that you'd like to share? And are you able to detach and heal? Are you in the process of doing that, or do you still feel hooked in? All right, let me know in the comments below. And I really hope today has helped. And please remember to like and share this video so that others can make sense out of the madness, and subscribe to my channel so you can keep receiving all my new videos. Okay, all right. Until next time, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.